Are we rolling? We are.
Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time. Some say that Tom is like a giant among men. Others say he's a little obsessed.
I don't even have a top 10.
Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time.
Hey, folks! How's that funny?
Just you popped your suspenders, dude.
No, I didn't.
Come on, just like. Yeah, so yeah.
Okay. You're watching the top 100 games of all time, according to Tom Vasel, or my favorite 100 games. These guys are here to keep me in line. Yes. Sam Healy and Z Garcia. It's a shame, but they're doing it. All right. Well, let's get started. We're going to talk about these games. Almost all the games on my list this time, except one, are games that have been on the list before.
Coming in at number 70, it's Hollywood Blockbuster.
So, but some of them have changed position dramatically, and the first one has been on my list the entire series. Last year was 51 down to 70. Not a big deal. That's just because of new games and things. And that is either, it's called a lot of different names. The one I have is called Traumfabrik, but it's also called Hollywood Blockbuster.
Yes. Yep.
Different versions. I like my version the best because I've pasted modern actors, although I think now they're 90s actors. You know,
Right, yeah.
Someday I'll be playing it with my grandkids. They'll be like, "Who are these people?"
Relic!
So we'll have to.
Real actors and real directors, right?
Yeah.
Well, they were real actors, real directors in the first game. They were just from the 20s.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, I knew Alfred
The
Hitchcock.
Hollywood Blockbuster one sort of made fun of something. You know, they
It
messed
was
the names up.
Jim Scary.
Yeah, they
You know, but I don't know why that just bugs me a bit. Mm-hmm. The thing is, in this game, it's a Reiner Knizia game. I don't get it. It's thematic. It makes sense. Mm-hmm. But you're basically bidding each turn. And the game itself is fun because when you win an auction, the money that you bid with, contracts it's called, is split evenly between everyone else.
That's thematic. That's exactly the way it works in Hollywood.
So, the point of that is that... I don't even know what I'm saying now. Okay. The point of it is, though, that if you don't win auctions, you're eventually going to win one. It's a cool mechanic.
Right. If you don't win, you get money. Yeah.
And then when you win these, you get different actors and directors and things, and you make movies. But the fun of the game is, I mean, it's a good game, but it's fun to make the movie Bambi, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, starring, Denzel Washington.
Right.
or making, I don't know, Braveheart, directed by Spike Lee, and
Oh, no.
so, but these things happen, starring Jim Carrey. So,
Can you imagine Jim Carrey as William Wallace?
Wow.
okay, but the game is fun. If you can track down if you can track down a version of it, you should.
And that's hard to get. It is hard to get.
And if you do get it, I would recommend going on Board Game Geek and then printing out some modern actors and putting them on. It makes the game more fun. Cool. So anyway, Traumfabrik or Hollywood Blockbuster.
Number 69, Thieves.
Number 69 has been on my list ever since it came out.
Why are you moving away from me?
You're about to get...
Because I like to reach into bags and pull out tiles.
Oh, my goodness.
It's Thieves! Thieves! Okay, I know you don't like it.
One of the most mind-numbing games ever.
Oh.
I really like Thieves. It's an archaeological game that feels like an archaeology game because you reach in a bag and that feels like going to a dig site.
It does not feel like going to a dig site.
It does.
It's like pulling stuff out of a bag.
I think it's a decent approximation.
Do you like the game?
I do.
So it's okay for me to have my list?
No, I like it.
All right.
It's great. That might very well make my top 100 someday.
All right. Well, anyhow.
Maybe.
Anyhow.
I'll make my own, too. And I won't put it on my list.
It's just do 100, not Thieves. His top 100, not top 100.
All right. So anyway, Thieves.
Number 68, Age of Empires 3, re-implemented as Empires, Age of Discovery.
68 has also been on my list ever since the game has come out, which has been at least 6 years, by Eagle Games of all people. And I debated whether this was gonna be beat out by Francis Drake, but not yet. I still think this game's a classic, especially with the expansion which came out like last year or 2 years ago, and that's Age of Empires or Empire's Age of Discovery, whatever it's called.
Okay.
It's an oversized box, oversized production.
Yep.
The board's too big,
Yep.
but the game is amazing.
Very cool.
It was one of the first worker placement games I played where I said, wow,
Yes.
because the workers you placed did something.
Yeah.
You put down a
I was just thinking
missionary,
that. I was just thinking
and the
that.
worker went, woo, over to it and produced another one.
right.
And they were thematic, and it was like worker placement mixed with area control.
Yes.
And there was always cool things to do. You know, you're like, well, you might be have the most missionaries, but I have South Carolina, and over here I'm exploring new lands.
Right, you can go in heavy with the soldiers. Yeah, you had a lot of ground to
Yeah.
explore. Yes.
Yeah.
So I thought it was an excellent game. If you run across a copy of it, I think you can find them. It's out of print, but it's not too difficult to find at this point in time. And so, anyway, it's a really big box, though, so be prepared. But there's a lot of plastic miniatures, so even if you hate the game, you could use them for something else.
Yeah, you'll feel like you got your money's worth.
Yeah,
I agree.
Age of Empires 3.
Number 67. Say anything.
Number 67 is back to party games. It's been on my list since it's come out. It was 43 last year, 24. It was up at 13 one year. It's dropped down some because, well, there's a lot of party games, and I don't get to play them all the time. This is the game that kind of shot apples to apples and killed it.
I was gonna say Dixit.
Say anything.
Say anything.
Oh, okay.
Say anything. Say anything. The idea of being able to write down an answer and then have people vote on the answer.
Right.
Say anything is one of those party games that gets funnier as the game continues.
Right.
Because you refer back to other answers.
Sure.
You'll say, you'll write the same answer sometimes 3 times in a row because it's just funny to do that. It's.
Good job.
Oh, yay! I thought he was going to give me money.
That's a legit fist bump, bro.
Okay. Say anything is good. I think you use this game a lot in your
Yes,
youth group,
I
don't
do.
you? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's actually kind of like the unsung hero of North Star. They're always like, what's in wagers? What's in wagers? Oh, by the way, we also sell Say Anything. That's the way it always feels.
Yeah.
But I think Say Anything is a really solid game.
Yeah, it is.
So it just doesn't make for as good of a game show, I guess.
Right.
Say Anything.
Number 66. Reifenbreite.
Number 66 is my one entry into the I have a German game that doesn't ever was printed in English, and that's Reifenbreite, the bicycle racing game.
Elitist.
But it has that same silly Mad Magazine artwork. It's a bicycle racing
Old game too, right?
It is.
It's not as good as the other one you had that had that.
The Horse Fever.
Yeah.
Do you know how I won this game? I won it in an auction in Korea where they auctioned it downwards. They said $70. Well, we'll say dollars. $70, $69,
Dutch
68.
auction.
Right. So the first person to say it,
Right.
and I was sitting there going, I don't know anything about this game, but it looks cool. So I don't know how much I paid, but it was very. That was stupid.
No, that's cool. I like the auction story. That's cool.
You don't like the game?
I haven't played it. I think.
You played it.
Yeah.
You think it's okay?
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's really. I like the fact that you have 4 bicycle racers in it. So one might be doing poorly, and it's rolling dice and moving.
Yeah.
But you can draft other people. So you have to decide when the best time to draft and when the best time is to roll yourself.
Gotcha.
Anyway, Reifenbreite.
Number 65. Ave Caesar.
Number 65 is another racing game. I had to put them really close together. I think this one's just a little bit better than Reifenbreite because this one can play up to 6 players. It's mean and nasty. I play it at every convention, I think, once. It's my Dice Tower Con opening game, I think, that I'll consider it.
Oh, okay.
I think you played it at Dice Tower Con this year, right?
When you say played, you use that term very loosely. I sat there. Okay.
Usually I'm nicer at games than I was at that particular game.
Ave Caesar.
Ave Caesar, one of the meanest games in existence because you can hurt other people in that game for no reason at all.
I need to play this game again. Because I played it once, and I got a really bad taste in my mouth from it. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it, Joe.
And Z got it from
I
me.
just haven't-
I did, but it doesn't bother me.
But then you do pretty well at the end then?
No, I don't think so. But it doesn't bother me.
No, I mean, it was a really bad experience. I actually got up from the table and walked away.
Right. But I don't.
So, I mean, it was a really
I don't
bad experience.
do
And I haven't, well, no, I mean, believe me.
Okay.
Believe me.
Okay, okay.
All right.
You may.
Okay.
But
Well,
anyway,
anyhow.
I love you, Joe. I really do. But
Anyhow, this is a good racing game. I think it's out of print again. It seems like a lot of games I'm talking about are out of print. But if you can find this one, get it. They did an updated version of it.
Wasn't there a sci-fi?
Yeah, it was a
one?
I can't even remember the name of it, but it was the same thing. And this will be another one I would like to see reprinted because I think it still holds up pretty well.
Yeah, it's cool.
Ave Caesar.
next time it's being played, I'll play it.
Number 64, Tales of the Arabian Nights.
Number 64 has been on my list for 5 years. Last year was 31. Now it's down to 64. There's no big reason that it dropped. This is another one I don't play to win at all. Just play to see what happens. It's a story game, the ultimate story game, and that is Tales of Arabian Nights. In fact, they just played it at my gaming group just this past week, where they played a 6-player game of it, which is probably too many people to play. With none of them almost playing it before, it was a unique experience. But I like it. I like the fact that halfway through the game, I'm crippled, insane. I have people chasing me.
You might be a woman, right?
I've been switched over.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things, and it's funny. You know, you meet a beggar, you say, I'm going to give him money. No, I'm going to punch him. It's just, what are you laughing? Have you ever done that in that game?
No, I've never. I've been meaning to play this.
What? You've never played it?
This is one of those games that I
I've
have
only
to get
played it
played.
a couple times.
Like,
I mean, I haven't played it a whole lot either.
It's up there for me as one of those games that I need to find.
you know what? I think it's partially because I played it with my family a lot. You know, and I played it a lot at school with the kids groups because the kids eat it up. Yeah. They love to see what's going to happen next.
Right.
Oh, there's the beggar. This time we'll befriend him. This time, beat him. You know, it's funny the things you can do in this game. And you never know what will happen.
Right.
Like you'll meet an old woman and they'll be like, I'll befriend her. She turns into a witch, you know, and enslaves you. You're like, okay, next time I meet an old woman. I'll beat her. Guards come and arrest you. You're like, I can't win. So, Tales of Arabian Nights, number 64.
Number 63, Pixel Tactics.
Number 63. Remember when we said Battle Line way back when, and I said I like the card games with theme? This is a brand new addition to the list from Level 99 Games called Pixel Tactics.
Cool.
Pixel Tactics. Have you played this one yet? Yeah. Oh, you don't like it?
No.
Wow, I love Pixel Tactics.
I liked it.
The cool thing about Pixel Tactics is you're basically making a little army and trying to kill your opponent's leader. There's a lot of these games. But depending on where you place the card,
Right.
it has different abilities. You put in the front line, it has this ability. You put in the back line, it has this ability. You play it from hand, it's a special card. This year they released Pixel Tactics 2. Essentially combining them together, the same game, because Pixel Tactics 2 is basically more cards for Pixel Tactics.
Okay.
But it's its own game, so you can mix them together. So, lots of fun.
Cool. I don't think it's a little high on the list in the 60s. That's like the 60s, 63rd, 64th game.
Right.
Best game ever. I don't know about that, but I like the game. It's a cool 2-player game.
I won't even go that far. I mean, if I'm going to play use my guys in this column and this row and all this, I'm playing, Summoner Wars or Mage Wars. Why do I need to waste my time with Pixel Tactics?
I liked it.
Perhaps those games are higher on the list of Pixel Tactics.
I'm sure they probably are, but I mean...
I think right now, though, I have to be fair. It's obvious from this list that that's a weakness of mine. It's a set I like. You saw it, Magic the Gathering, Warlords, and now Pixel Tactics, and there's more.
Yeah.
That's something I love. Facing off against somebody, kill their leader. I love that idea.
Okay, I got that. It's just that, I mean...
And I think this is cool that it's in such a small box, where it's somewhere around here. It's so small I can't even find
It's
it.
the size of a deck of cards.
Yeah. So anyway, Pixel Tactics number 63.
Number 62, Robo Rally.
Number 62 has been on my list since I began. Although I think at one point it was like maybe 20. Now it's at 62. But that's because there's a lot of games that give me the same feel. And some people I play this game with hate it. You have to play it in the right way with the right people. You can play up to 8 people. Programming was invented with this game. Before Magic the Gathering,
Robo Rally.
Richard Garfield invented Robo Rally. Now I know you're not a fan of the game.
I'll play it. It's just that
Every time someone messes Sam's plans up.
and I don't like having my plans messed up.
By accident.
Right. I mean, if you meant to and you knew it was going to happen, great. But if, I didn't mean for it to do that.
And that just makes me laugh. But I really do think it's a cool idea, the programming robots. You got to play with a tight race course, very tight. You play with as few options as possible. Most of the time I say throw everything in. Robo Rally, keep it tight, make sure your course is crisscross. Don't play with people who don't take a long time to think. Right. You just play and then have fun. And I think it plays really well.
Yeah, I agree. You have to keep it short. You have to force the game to end up being short or it will drag.
Right, you got to be careful because you could say, oh, this one says use all 4 boards and have this. Don't do it!
Do that.
So anyway, that's 62 cool. Robo Rally.
Number 61, On the Underground.
Number 61 is my obscure game, which I'm not sure either one of you has played.
Oh, give it to me.
It's about the subways of London.
I've played Underground.
On the Underground?
On the Underground.
Oh, you have?
I think I have too.
Oh, validate. We're gamers, baby. You don't know about that, Vasel.
On the Underground was a game that I avoided for a while because I just didn't think much about it. Then I played it, and the idea is it's another programming kind of game, but there's one guy on the board, a lazy subway guy, who you're trying to get to different locations.
Right.
But he will take the laziest route possible. Mm-hmm. So he'll go way out of his way if he doesn't have to walk from one subway station to the other.
Right.
So you're building subway stations, and you control multiple colors. Mm-hmm. And depending on how many players there are, and then on your turn, you will move him from one to one location. And as far as you move him, whichever subway lines he travels on, they'll get points. So you might be forced to give points to the other players. Great 2-player game, very good 3-player game, 4-player, 5-player. At that point, it's a really long time between player turns.
Right.
Because it's a very thinky game.
I guess I'm just surprised you like this game this much.
I don't know what it is. I just think it's
high.
really cool.
Yeah.
I know it's high, but it's a good game.
It's okay.
So this is a
I barely remember playing it.
Right,
so.
right. I get that same exact feeling. It's one of those games that I know I played. I can close my eyes and I see the board, and that's about it.
I still think they should have made like on the Underground New York, on the Underground Seoul, on the Underground
Well, it didn't
Tokyo.
sell enough for that.
It didn't.
Yeah.
But it didn't get a wide distribution either. Yeah, so
right.
Anyway, I'm banging a drum on the Underground. Well, I think it's getting easier as I'm getting higher, and I think you guys will be okay with my next list, maybe. We're almost halfway. Mm-hmm. Woo. Okay, no, you guys are going to bust me for a couple, but that's okay. That's okay. Moving along. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Z Garcia.
And I'm Sam Healy.
And you've been watching The Dice Tower.
Some say that Tom is like a giant among men. Others say he's a little obsessed.
I don't even have a top 10.
Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time.
Number 64, Tales of the Arabian Nights.
There's no the.
Yes, there is.
Not here, there isn't.
Well, you don't know the game like I do.
Well, then Tom has to correct it in his...
Tom doesn't spell right.
Fine.
Sorry.